Good morning, listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Talk About It with Sam, where we discuss today's current events, life, health, wealth, and lifestyle. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more content. So much more to come. You can also find me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Training with Sam. Let's go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Talk About It with Sam. Today, I am going to be introducing and interviewing Coach Ed. Edward is actually an online fitness coaching instructor who works with weight loss and does all types of personal and fitness training, correct?
Yep.
Awesome. Ed, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So what got me into the whole coaching game is I was alcoholic for about 13 years, and I got sober almost 4 years ago. And about 6 months into my sobriety, I decided to start working out. And it's just been I haven't looked back. I mean, I've just constantly progressed in my fitness endeavors. I lift weights regularly. And eventually I decided, I need to help others with their fitness as well. I need to help others who are struggling with their own addictions, their own vices, as I was. So it's sort of like me paying it forward. Another way I like to describe it is like sort of a karmic debt that I spent all that time just trying to escape, and now I need to pay it forward and help others get out of that funk as I did.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. But you used a key term for me, so now that's going to open up a bigger category. Are you a spiritual man?
I every day I feel like I get more and more spiritual. Yes.
Wow, that's beautiful. So I also believe in karmic debts, and I also believe in rewriting those wrongs. But I think one of the parts of my journey is healing and forgiveness. So one of the biggest parts of that was learning to forgive myself for all of those karmic debts and understanding that those were lessons that we were being taught so that we could teach others, which is very similar to what you're doing.
Yeah. I feel like I had to. I mean, it might sound high and mighty, but I feel like I had to go through that alcoholism to get to where I'm at today, to where I would be available to other people to be able to help them.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, as far as like your evolution and you evolving, what was it that triggered you to really stop drinking?
It was it sort of happened like gradually. Like it started with my mother passing away. She was alcoholic as well. She died from complications of alcoholism and breast cancer. And so that sort of it shocked me into this new reality of like I'm gonna end up down the same path. And some more things that happened was I started having really bad panic attacks. I got diagnosed with anxiety. And then I actually started feeling internal pain, like my liver was about to go south on me.
Wow.
So all that just culminated to like I need to do this now and not keep putting it off, because I kept thinking and thinking and thinking about quitting, and I just said enough's enough. If I can't stop now, how am I going to stop tomorrow? You know?
Wow, that's really beautiful. And I hope that you know that I'm proud of you, and I know that all of our viewers are proud of you, and that, it takes a lot of strength to do that. So I hope that you're proud of yourself. I think that
Definitely.
you as a coach too, I'm sure, understand those habits, those like traits, because something that I promote a lot on my podcast is that I don't want people to feel like they're alone. And I don't want people to constantly sit and shit on themselves because of things that they're going through, or like you said, like karmic debts that they might be paying because of bad habits that they were taught. Now that doesn't, take away from your mother. I'm sure she was a wonderful woman, but she was probably taught those habits and in turn took them on. And then you were taught habits because you were being raised in a home where alcohol was a thing. And I grew up in a house where drugs were very common. My father was a drug addict. Um, but as we grow and as we learn those lessons, we start to understand those habits and we start to break away from them and then create our own healthy habits, which is so difficult and so hard to do. You're literally rewiring and retraining your brain to do something positive when you were taught all of these negative things your entire life. Um,
Mhm.
so I definitely think it's important for us to kind of commend ourselves. Um, as far as like your childhood, would you say you went through like a lot of childhood trauma?
I wouldn't call it trauma. It was more of like, I'd say, it was kind of like I wasn't neglected, but I was like neglected in the ways that my parents should have been there for me.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like with just my upbringing, both of my parents were just, they were too wrapped up in their own heads with their addiction to be able to be there as they should have been. And so, being that I was alcoholic, I can't really blame them 100% because, I went through the same thing. It's just I actually managed to break the cycle.
Beautiful. And that's what it, yeah, good for you.
That's what it's about. I mean, that's what I tell people whenever the subject comes up. I'm I bring it up every so often in my social media. Stop. It doesn't have to keep going this way. We're supposed to be better than the last generation.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. And also, I think that it's important too because I mean, I can't speak for you, but when I started my own journey, I was angry. I was angry at a lot of the adults in my life because I wasn't shown things that I was supposed to be shown and I wasn't taught the things I was supposed to be taught. And it took me a couple years into my journey to understand that, wait a second, this isn't a blame game and I'm just holding on to this anger. The most important part for me to understand right now is it's the understanding, the knowing that this was not intentional and that this was brought to my attention because I was the strongest one in the family because I was the leader here. I was the one that was breaking these generational curses just like you are. So it's really kind of like, but it's phases, right? It's all steps. So you have to kind of go through the anger first and then you understand that, okay, wait a second, I don't need to be angry. I don't need to blame. I'm actually here because I'm the leader. I'm here because I'm the strongest. And because I was able to break these cycles that the rest of my family wasn't. So it's actually a really beautiful thing, but it's unfortunate because we have to go through so much to get to this place. Um,
Mm.
but now I'm so happy. I don't know about you, but like I thank God every day for my trauma. Like there's days where I'll be sitting in my car and saying, like thank you God for the trauma and the things that I've been through. Because had I not gone through that, I wouldn't be here to help other people. And that doesn't happen overnight. It took me a
Yeah,
while to get to that place. Um, but it really is a beautiful thing. As far as like mental health, do you think that working out and exercising has improved that for you?
definitely. Yeah, it started out. I just even though I was sober, I still was looking in the mirror in the mornings and just, I still look like shit. And so I was like, I got to start working out. And so it started with that physical, wanting to look physically better. And then over time, it just developed into like I work out so hard that I just feel so much better mentally afterwards. So it morphed into like, yeah, I'm looking better. I feel better up here. So it kind of just your mental and your physical health in the way of exercise end up like morphing together. Like it's they work together. I'm trying to think of a better way to explain it, but
Mind, body, soul.
yeah, yeah, it's all just one unit, and I feel like exercise, you're getting a workout for your mind, body, and soul all at the
Yeah.
same time.
Wow, that's beautiful. So can we dive deep a little bit into, well, first, actually, before we talk about fitness, do you have any recommendations for anyone out there that is currently struggling to get sober or has addictions and they don't know where to start?
Um, I know that it's an individual thing, like there's more than one way to do it. Myself, I was able to quit just cold turkey. Like I didn't go to meetings. I didn't end up in detox. I didn't go through rehab. It was just an incredible amount of willpower to just be like, I'm gonna die if I don't stop. So I have to stop. If there's anything I could recommend, um, just start being grateful for what you have. Because when you're addicted, like with alcohol, um, and any other addiction, I would imagine you're trying to escape your reality. And I've, from what I've studied, what I've read, our thoughts end up becoming our reality. And so just start thinking positive. Be grateful for what you actually have right now, and just watch how much more positive you start feeling just from that. Because every morning I started very recently, actually, I started just practicing gratitude, like for the most simplest things, just getting out of bed, being able to physically get out of bed, having the clean water, the soap to get cleaned up in the morning, the ability to make my breakfast, the being grateful for having the ingredients that I put in my breakfast, the ability to eat my breakfast. It just, I could go on and on like all day, like I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for this. Just start practicing gratitude.
Wow,
It
that is
can
so
be,
beautiful.
yeah, it can be a real game changer.
And it's so true because when you think about it, it's like we take all of these things for granted, like having a vehicle. I was thinking about that the other day, and I was also like practicing gratitude, and I'm just like, how grateful am I? How thankful am I to be able to like get around and to be able to kind of just like explore this world and like just like have shoes on my feet, and like that's just so beautiful because it really is. It's something that I think that a lot of us overlook. Um, but it is something that we can practice. It's completely free, and it's like what is stopping you from doing it? And I think that it'll put you in a different place if you can wake up and say, I'm so thankful to be able to wake up today, and I'm so thankful to be able to do simple things that other people can't do. It gives you a different perspective on how alcohol just might not be that important, or these addictions might not be as important as we really think they are, because we're not being as grateful as we should be for the simple things. And it's like we're taking advantage of our bodies, we're taking advantage of our mind and our souls by doing those things. So that's so beautiful. Wow. Now, as far as the fitness, can you give us any tips on like weight loss actually? So we'll dive a little bit more into like the fitness aspect, but I've seen that you posted a lot of like really funny things like on your social media, which I would recommend everyone to follow Edward. All of his links are going to be listed in the bio. What would you recommend with anyone that's trying to lose weight and they're just starting out?
So I would recommend taking a hard look at your nutrition. Nutrition is a huge, huge factor in fat loss, and your overall health. It's about 80% of the results you want. So the way that I manage my own, or Yeah, the way that I manage my own fat loss and the way that I coach people is I teach them to track their macronutrients. I believe it's the most effective way to start shedding fat and get leaned out. And I mean, there's other ways to go about it. There's what's called mindful eating. Of course, there's actually reputable diets out there that you can follow, but at the end of the day, if you just plug in some numbers for your meals, stick to it, and over time, within like a few months, you could see drastic changes just being in a caloric deficit and continuing to work out consistently. Just within 90 days, I mean, you can lose like 1 to 2 pounds a week realistically. So it's all just a matter of time, and you have to be disciplined, be patient, and you'll end up getting there.
That's awesome. That's great. And then how about fitness? Is there anything that you would start if somebody was working on like weight loss and then they were looking to kind of get fit, but they were really new to it? Where should they start?
Um, so me personally, I started with just doing body weight workouts because I didn't have any equipment. So, I mean, if you don't have any knowledge of exercise at all, um, you could benefit greatly from getting with a trainer or an online coach. My program, I provide customized workouts, and I also have the ability to coach you through the individual exercises. I'm a certified personal trainer, so um, I've gone through the having to study the exercise and the reasons behind it, and just the overall mechanics of every exercise, like why you're doing it.
Awesome.
So,
Okay, awesome. Is there anything else that you would like to share? How can people get in touch with you?
so I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I have a YouTube channel that's kind of dormant right now, but trying to get that going again. Um, I have a website. So my Instagram is at @lifesentence_fitness. That's my personal brand. And then on Facebook, you can find me at just my name, Edward White. And then YouTube, it's the same as Instagram at @lifesentence_fitness.
Beautiful. Awesome. And all of that will be listed in the link in the bio as well.
Cool.
Thank you so much for coming on, Edward. I mean, that was really great. And I really appreciate you sharing your story and being completely transparent with me. Um, this was it was a really great topic, and I hope to have you on again.
Yeah, same. I love doing this. This is the fourth podcast I've done this year, so and I've grown to enjoy it. Like when I first started out, I was like really nervous because I didn't know what to expect. And so this time around, I'm a lot more confident. I've told my story a bunch of times already, so
Good. You did great. I thought it went really well.
yeah, me too.
Good. All right. Well, I hope that you have a great day.
You too.
Thanks so much.